Welcome to Spec Spotlight, a show that takes a look at interesting people in and around the Metro Detroit area. I'm John Atkinson, and my guest for the show is Dylan Lush. Dylan is a college student who is very knowledgeable about ayahuasca, which contains dimethyltryptamine, also known as DMT.
Ayahuasca, in layman's terms, can be described as a combination of any two plants, one containing the active alkaloids harmala and harmine, and one containing DMT.
I then asked Dylan what ayahuasca was made from.
Traditionally, ayahuasca has contained the plants Banisteriopsis caapi as the one containing harmala and harmine, and the leaves of the chacruna bush containing DMT.
From what I understand, ayahuasca is used by shamans in the Amazon, so I asked Dylan if there was any medical significance.
In fact, if you try to call it anything else other than medicine, they'll scorn you.
I then asked what medically ayahuasca or DMT could be used for.
Strictly medical perspective, ayahuasca increases heart rate, and it also increases vasodilation. Now, what that could mean health-wise, I'm not so sure.
Dylan then proceeded to tell me that ayahuasca could potentially be used as an antidepressant.
Mental health-wise, ayahuasca is the most beneficial substance I've ever come across. You know, a lot of people take antidepressants every single day, and they don't even work. You know, I take my antidepressant once every 2 months, and it works like a charm.
In case you are just joining me, this is Spec Spotlight. I am John Atkinson, and my guest for today's show is Dylan Lush. I then asked what the purpose of drinking ayahuasca was.
I'd say this experience is made to be shared, and if you just have this experience and keep it to yourself and don't share it with anybody, I feel like you're kind of missing the point.
Dylan told me that an ayahuasca journey was made of meaning.
It's made of meaning. What the meaning is, I'm not sure, but this place, this world, whatever you want to call it, dimension, seems to be made of geometry.
So I asked him to explain the place that he traveled to.
Perfect geometry, not just random lines and angles, but perfect right angles and perfect lines and polygons, and it's really hard to say what a place like that actually is.
I asked Dylan if he could touch, smell, or hear things while on his journey.
As far as touch goes, I haven't had any experiences. I haven't had any smells either. Some people have. It's not completely uncommon. As far as people talking to me, yeah, you could definitely put a check mark next to that one. They were entities of some kind, at least that's what they seem to be.
I then asked if these entities were real.
I tend to not make too many claims if I don't have scientific evidence behind them. My opinion is that these spirits or entities or, whatever they are real. In some way, whether they are a part of us or they have their own separate reality outside of ours, I'm not sure.
I asked when using DMT, will the brain understand what's going on?
My opinion is that your perception is definitely being expanded, and the amount of information your brain is able to process is also expanded.
Dylan continues to say that the brain can only understand a fraction of what is happening.
There's almost too much going on for a conscious presence to get a hold of. There's just so much information coming at you so fast that your brain is just incapable of trying to wrap itself around more than a tiny little fraction of it.
So I asked Dylan what would happen if one would try to disregard what was happening.
It was almost forcefully instructive, meaning if you try to diverge from what they want you to see or look at or take in from this experience, they will snap you out of it. They'll say, no, don't do that. They'll say, pay attention. This is what you need to look at. It is very forceful. Not so much in an angry kind of way, but more that they're trying to shake you awake. And they know that if they don't shake hard enough, you're just going to fall right back asleep.
I'd like to thank Dylan Lush for being a guest on Spec Spotlight. Spec Spotlight is heard daily on this radio station and is a production of the students of Specs Howard School of Media Art. I'm John Atkinson. Thanks for listening.